Welcome back to your Vinyasa Yoga practice. Today's flow is going to be very focused on your alignment in your body. My name is Kayvon, for those of you that are new to me. We're going to get started off today with a block. If you have it at home, I'd like you to take, if you have 2 blocks, that's great. If you only have 1 block, you'll probably be on the lowest setting here with your block. And the second block can be to support the base of your skull. So that 1 block is going to be between the shoulder blades, towards the bottom tips of the shoulder blades really, and then just letting the chest expand open, especially those of us that have been working at a computer or desk for a large portion of the day. This is going to feel really open, and if you only have 1 block, then you might even need to roll a blanket up or something underneath the base of your skull for a little bit of support, and just let the arms rest open. Your knees can fall together gently towards the middle of the body. And take 3 slow and deep breaths here. Just allowing your inhales to fill the heart, expand the collarbones. And then the exhales, just feel your shoulders rest a little bit heavier towards the ground. Inhale, expanding into the space that surrounds the body. And exhaling, just feeling the full effect of gravity gently drawing you down. Good. And then take your arms and reach them up towards the sky, so you create a little bit of tension in the arms, almost like you're holding a block between your hands. And then press into the feet so that the thighs line up with the hips, and start to scoop your tailbone a little bit more forward so you get a little bit more length in the spine. With the arm bones, reach out towards the ceiling so the fingertips wrap towards the ceiling, the upper back broadens, and then just gently sort of toggle from side to side. So it's going to feel like the head and neck and the full spine just move from right to left as you get into the space between the shoulder blades. And if it feels really good on one of those parts, just try to breathe into it for an extra breath or so. No need to rush, just kind of knocking off some of the rust. And settle back to the center. As you inhale, reach the arms wide apart, like you're stretching open to give or receive the biggest hug. And then exhale, take your right elbow on top of your left elbow for eagle arms, Garudasana arms. If you can't grab eagle arms, just bring your hands to the inner borders of the shoulder blades and take a couple of breaths here. And keep the shoulder blades nestling down your back, the front ribs drawing in, and the forearms pressing up towards the ceiling. One more inhale. Then exhale, release the arms. And just feel the echo of sensation in the shoulders, the back, anywhere that is noticeable to you. Inhale, stretch the arms wide apart, feel your wingspan, feel the shoulders open. Then exhale, left elbow on top of right this time. Press the palms together firmly, spread the fingers, and draw the shoulder blades down the back. So you should feel more of your upper back here now in contact with the block or whatever's propping your heart up. And take one more steady cycle of breath. Nice. And then inhale, reach the arms wide apart. And exhale, let the arms rest heavy for a moment. And then you're going to roll over to your right side, just come up off your blocks or your props, set them off to the side, and come into a seat, so a nice easy seat with the right shin in front of the left shin. Inhale to lift up and lengthen your spine. Exhale, just fold forward, nice and easy at the hip creases, just feeling a little bit of ease towards the hips, just letting them soften. Go ahead and take one more breath here. And slowly start to come on up. Just lean back and switch. Left shin in front of the right. As you're here with the legs crossed, try to walk your feet towards the outer edges of your mat or outer edges of your knees, and then fold forward. So really easy, stretching out into the hips, just feeling your body in these first couple of poses, feeling the space that you have to work with today. Really nice. And then come back up. And cross your shins as you come onto all fours. We'll move into a tabletop position. Shoulders stack over your wrist, hips over your knees. And we'll take 5 rounds of cat and cow pose. As you inhale, roll the chest forward and up as the collarbones spread wide apart, sitting bones spread wide. Gaze might even lift, and then exhale, press the floor away and round. Try to move nice and slowly, almost like you're moving through water. And trying to find a little bit more range through your spine, evenly from right to left side. So a couple more times through, just feeling the belly draw back in towards the low base of the spine as you continue to cycle through. Good, one more time. Moving into the cow pose, Vittalasana, and then the cat pose, Marjariasana. Inhale, come back to a neutral position with your spine. Then tuck your toes. Make sure all 10 toes are tucked under. And shift your weight back in towards your heels. Walk your hands back towards your knees. And then your weight's going to be all the way on your feet with your toes tucked and facing forward. If this is too much on your feet or you have metal in your feet, then you're just going to come out of the pose. You don't need to do this. Otherwise, take the arms back behind you, interlace them. Roll your chest open and try to pull the arms apart as you contain through the front ribs. Let the weight settle down into your sitting bones. Let the crown of the head lift from there. Inhale. Then exhale, release. Hands back to the floor, tops of the feet to the floor. And then just 3 more times, move through cat and cow. Gripping through the hands, tops of the feet and ankles ground. Inhale, chest rolls open. Exhale to round. And just feel out for yourself. Are you starting to find perhaps a little bit more space? Already having stretched out the feet, starting to find a little more range of motion in the spine. Good. Come back to neutral with the spine. Once again, tuck your toes and really shift your weight back first so you get the toes kind of tucked under. And then walk yourself back up. Reach the arms back. Opposite index knuckle on top this time. So the opposite or goofy grip that you had. Pull the arms apart, open the chest, heart lifts, but the front ribs contain. One more inhalation. And then exhale, release, hands come to the floor. And then tops of the feet down. As you walk back, you're going to bring the knees together. And then interlace your palms, stretch the arms up. Just getting a lift through the sides of the waist. Lift through the crown of the head. And feel the sitting bones maintain heaviness of gravity. Exhale the arms down. Walk your hands back out in front of you. And lift up and back, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Once you come into your downward facing dog, try to stretch and lengthen your spine, almost like you could pull your mat apart in 2 opposite directions. Inhale, lift your heels high. As you exhale, bend the left knee and drive the right heel down into the floor. And although you're driving the right heel down, feel like the back of the right calf can push a little bit forward. So you get a little more ankle flexion there. Inhale, lift the heels high. Exhale, right knee bends, left heel drives down into the mat. Again, could you feel like the calf is still pushing forward as the left heel drives down? Inhale, heels up. Then exhale, draw both heels over to the right. Keep lifting your hips up and back. Take a full inhale into the left side. And then exhale, come back to the center. Take an inhale, keep the heels lifting high, sitting bones lifting high. Exhale, heels up and over to the left. Keep pressing your chest back towards your shins. Let your head and neck be easy in space. Inhale, come back to center. And exhale, drive the heels down. Inhale, forward plank pose. Feeling the hands gripping into the floor. Try to pull your yoga mat together and feel a little round of the upper back. Legs are firm. One more inhalation. Then exhale, lower all the way down. Good. From here, keep your hands in line with your chest and just roll your chest forward and up as you come into the cobra pose, Bhujangasana. Exhale, lower all the way down. Take the arms back, palms face down. Press your pelvis into the mat and lift your legs. Then lift your chest and head. Gaze down the cheekbones so the back of the neck is long. And then lift the arms. So engaging the whole back body here. Oftentimes when we're having poor posture, our back body needs to strengthen in order to open the front of the body. So take one more inhale, feel everything lift an inch higher. Then exhale, release. Tuck your toes. Press back through plank or all fours. Downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take a full breath in. Complete exhale out the mouth. Inhale your right leg up and back. And as you exhale, knee to nose, step it all the way through. Ground the back knee. And then keeping your hands on your fingertips or hands to blocks here, just reach the crown of your head forward and then slowly tuck your chin in towards your sternum. So you're gazing down now at the left thigh. And you might even feel this into that left psoas, left hip flexor. Just breathe into that sensation for another cycle. And ask yourself if you're holding on to anything you don't need to in this pose. Can you just focus on creating a sense of balance and symmetry with your alignment? Inhale, begin to lift the head back upright. Now, you might need blocks for this next part as we're going to transition back and forth from the low lunge here to Ardha Hanumanasana. So shifting your hips back, driving the right heel down, and drawing the right thigh bone up and back. Keep this right kneecap lifting and toning the front of the right thigh. Good. Rebend the right knee, chest lengthens forward. Exhale, shift your hips back like there's a strap around your hips drawing you back in space. We'll do that about 3 more times. Inhale, shifting forward. Exhale, lifting hips back, outer hips hug together. Last 2. Inhale. Exhaling, hips lift back, toes spread on the right foot. Last time through. Inhale. And exhale, lifting, flexing and spreading the toes. Nicely done. Bend the front knee, plant your palms, and then step back into downward facing dog. From your down dog, inhale, shift forward into plank pose. Exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale, lift up into cobra pose, Bhujangasana, strong active legs here. Exhale, transition back to the down dog. Inhale, down dog. As you exhale, drive the heels back and down, but press the calves forward into the shins. Inhale, left leg lifts up and back. Exhale, knee to nose, step forward. Ground the back knee. And then keep your torso low. Just imagine the crown of the head is lengthening forward and out. And then slowly draw the chin in towards your chest as you gaze towards the right knee. And if you're feeling any sensation in the front of that right thigh, just try to continue to breathe into that. and spread your awareness throughout the body. So you're really incorporating that sensation into a more global awareness of the body. One last cycle here. Good. If you have your blocks and they're helpful on the first side, take an inhale, reach the chest forward, lift the head, and exhale, just shift your hips back, flexing the toes, digging the left heel down into the floor. And just pause here on this first round. Just make sure that you're engaging equally through the inseam of the leg and the outer leg. Inhale, rebend the left knee, sternum lengthens you forward and out. Exhale, shifting your hips back, heart stays open. Nice. Let's do 3 more just like that. Inhaling. Exhale to shift the hips back. Flex toes, spread the feet. Inhale to bend and reach the heart forward. Exhale, lifting back, drawing the groins and inner thighs back. Last cycle. Inhale, bend left knee, chest reaches forward. Exhale, shifting hips back, flex the toes, and press the left heel down. Inhale to bend. Exhale, plant your hands and step back into downward facing dog. So from your downward facing dog here, gaze forward, and then you can walk, step, or lightly travel to the front of your mat. Meet at a forward fold in Uttanasana. Bring your hands to shins, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Again, inhaling, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold forward deeply. Inhale, stretch the arms to the sky, reach all the way up. Maybe gazing at the thumbs at the top. Exhale, hands come back to the heart center. And just one round of half of Surya Namaskara A. Inhale, sweep the arms high. Maybe look up. Exhale as you fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward deeply, navel to spine. Inhale, we rise, reaching tall. Exhaling, hands soften into the heart. Relax the eyes. Good. Reach the arms back now. Again, you can interlace the palms together to peel the chest open, but if this is too much on your shoulders, I encourage you to take a strap and hold that strap facing forward as you try to pull it apart. You can also do this with a towel or a t-shirt. Inhale, chest is open. Exhale to fold forward, releasing the head and neck towards the earth, sliding the shoulder blades down your back as the crown of the head reaches towards the floor. And as you're here, too, just check in with the weight in your feet. Notice if you're more heavy in the ball mounds or the heels, and try to have it centered just right. Let the head drop, take another breath, try to pull the arms apart. And exhale, release the hands down. Inhale, lengthen your sternum forward, the hips are over the heels. Exhale, step your right foot back, back knee to the floor. Inhale, one breath as you rise. Exhale, hands come to the ground, step back, downward facing dog. From down dog, inhale, shift forward, plank pose. Exhale, lower all the way to the floor. Slide your forearms forward this time. So we're going to set up for Sphinx pose. As you inhale, draw the arms back, lift the chest. And as you exhale, slowly lower all the way back down. Slide the hands back and downward facing dog. Steady your eyes between the inner ankles or maybe towards the inner thighs. Feel that the arms solidify to help you lift the sitting bones up and back. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, knee to nose, step it all the way through. Lower back knee to the floor. As you inhale, take the arms out and wide apart. And as you exhale, draw the elbows in, navel to spine. Just do that twice more. Inhale, separate arms apart, peeling the chest open. Exhale, draw the arms together. Just one more. Inhaling. Feeling the breath expand the chest, and exhale, navel draws into back body. Inhale, arms reach right up. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step forward, standing forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold deeply. Inhale, take the arms to the sky. Reach up, look up. Exhale, hands come to the heart. Same thing, second side. Inhale. Exhale as you fold forward. Inhaling Ardha Uttanasana, keep the breath smooth. Exhale, left foot back, knee to the floor. Inhale, arms reach, just one breath as you lift up. Exhale, hands down, step back to down dog. Inhale, shift forward into your plank pose. Exhale, lower to the floor. Forearms slide forward, Sphinx pose. Strong legs, inner thighs spinning up towards the ceiling. Good, and exhale, lower down. Press yourself back. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Take a moment in your down dog and just feel your attention rest, steady into the body. Good, take your left leg, reach it up and back with control. Exhale, knee to nose, step forward. Back knee comes to the ground. Inhale, the arms up. And as you exhale, just take the arms wide apart. Inhale here. Exhale, elbows draw in, navel comes to the spine. So really feel this work in the back body, like the shoulder blades draw together on the back. As you exhale, round and spread across the upper back. One more, just like that. Inhale, stretch arms apart. Head stays tall, ribs stay in. Exhaling, arms together. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hands down. Step forward, standing forward fold. Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Bend the knees, inhale, come into the chair pose, Utkatasana. Exhale, rise to stand, and release the arms. Just take 2 breaths and feel the plumb line of your body. So that balancing place from front to back, and right to left side. Just feel contained and rooted down through your feet. Bend the knees, come back into the chair pose, Utkatasana. And then as you exhale, you're just going to shift your weight onto your right foot, lift the left foot, send it back as you come into a crescent lunge, but have your arms down by your sides now. So instead of having the arms up, have the arms down by your sides. And then bend the elbows so that your arms are out in front of you like you're holding a platter. And really imagine that there's some weight in your hands. And with that, imagine there's a resistance band around your arms, keeping the elbows hugged in towards your body. Start to inhale, draw the arms out. So you should feel this in the backs of the shoulder blades. Exhale, just bring the arms back to the center. Just going to do that twice more here in a lunge. Inhaling, arms apart. Again, feel the work in the back of the shoulder blades. Exhale, arms back to neutral. One more. Inhaling. And exhaling. Bring the hands to heart center. Plant the hands. Step forward to standing forward fold. Uttanasana. Just be here for a breath. Let your head hang heavy. As you bend the knees, come back into your chair pose, Utkatasana. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center, shift weight to the left foot. As you shift the weight into your left foot, keep hugging the left outer hip in, and then softly step The right foot back as the arms root down by your sides. Chest is open, collarbones are broad. Press into the ball mount of the back foot, and almost like you could pull that right thigh forward and wrap the right outer hip forward. Good. Elbows bend. Imagine you're holding on to something heavy, so you create your own resistance in this posture. Inhaling, separate the arms apart. Exhale, just draw them back to center. 2 more like that. Stay grounded in the feet. Inhale. And exhale. 1 more. Inhaling. And exhaling. Bring the hands to heart center. Hinge forward, plant your palms, step forward. Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, lengthen the sternum forward, pubic bone back. Exhale to refold. Bend the knees, sit back into chair pose, Utkatasana. Exhale, rise to stand, hands come to the heart. So you're going to set up, take the right foot wide. So you're going to set up for Virabhadrasana 2, facing the back edge of your mat. Now you might need blocks to set up here on either side if we're moving towards triangle pose after this. So back toes are angled slightly forward. And as you're rolling this right sitting bone under, keep pressure in the ball mount of your right foot and keep the calf pressing forward against the shin. As the right sitting bone slides under, the right side body stretches along into triangle pose, Trikonasana. This left outer hip is wrapping forward and down so that the right side of the waist can extend. Bring your hand to your left hip to just feel that. And as you contain there, press into the ball mount of your right foot. Feel the calf press forward. And maybe even press so much as to feel the right heel become a little bit lighter. When you're ready, take the left arm up. Stretch open across the shoulder blades like the left shoulder is being pulled up from a string that's attached to your left wrist. Last inhale, reach the crown of the head forward. Ground the back heel. Inhale, rise up, one steady motion. And then pivot right toes in, left toes out. Again, before you shift weight forward, make sure that the ball mount of the left foot is grounded and the left kneecap is firming up. And then wrap the left sitting bone under. Right hip follows, left arm lengthens. Reaching long, and then eventually hand comes to the block or to the floor. And that right leg, make sure the back toes are facing slightly forward. We don't want to have them facing straight out to the side because we want to allow the right hip to come forward. Keep pressing into the ball mound of the left foot to feel the calf push into the shin. And then draw up against the tension in that left knee. Right arm to the sky, breathing here for 3. Steady the eyes, soften the throat for 2. Press down into the feet, lengthen crown of the head, last breath. And then push out into the outer edge of the back foot, rise up. Then bring your hands to your hips, parallel your feet to face in line with one another. And exhale, fold forward, all the way down. And then we're going to work on creating a little more awareness in the feet. So as you plant your hands right underneath your shoulders like a halfway lift, I want you just to try these 2 things. Shift your weight towards the inner big toe mound so much that you lift the pinky edges of your feet off the mat. And then try to do the opposite. Try to push down to the pinky edges so much that you lift the inner arches. Don't do it to the point where there's any pain or unpleasant sensation. Just feel those 2 edges. And then try to find right in between. Can you spread the toes, feel the center of the heels, and those 2 corners in the front of your feet. Keeping the heart reaching forward, bend your right knee and push your left foot away from you. Try not to lose the whole surface area of your feet as you transition back and forth. So we're going to move very slowly, very diligently. As you bend the left knee now, left hip draws back, push the right foot away from you.
So both feet feel like they're equally rooted down at any given moment. And then back and forth a few more times, side to side, so you're deepening the hip crease of the bending knee, lengthening the inseam of the leg on the straightened leg. And even as you're straightening that opposing leg, keep the calf pushing forward towards the shin. One more time each direction. Let it feel like you're slowly carving out a little bit more space as you move from side to side. Very nice. Come back to the center. Hands come to the hips. Rise all the way up. And then turn your right toes forward once again, setting up for triangle pose. So again, pressing into the ball mound of the right foot. Feel the calf engage, right kneecap lift, right sitting bone rolls under, and lengthen as you place the hand down to floor or block. Left arm to the sky. Just 3 breaths here as you ground into your feet. Feel the chest opening. And look down at that right foot just for a moment. Make sure you still feel the weight in the ball mound. It's easy to shift it towards the heel. Good. Keeping your gaze down, bring your left hand to your left hip. And then pick a spot to look at on the floor a few inches out in front of you. And you're going to shift forward into balancing half moon or Ardha Chandrasana. With that top leg, feel like it's pushing back against the wall and wrap your right outer thigh back. So even here, you have to work a little bit not to hyperextend that right knee. Ground your right inner ankle and lift the kneecap up. Arms spread apart, last 3. Spread both sets of toes for 2. Little soft smile, maybe turn the chest and the gaze, last breath. Nicely done. See if you can slowly transition back into triangle pose with as much control as you can manage. Ground the feet, feel steady, and then rise up. One steady movement. Pivot the feet around, facing the second side. So the left arm reaches forward, keeping that left big toe mound grounded. And left hand to block or floor, right arm to the sky. Triangle pose. As you push into the outer edge of the back foot, go ahead and look down at the left big toe mound. Make sure it feels as though it's just as heavy as the heel. It may not get there, but try to go for that. And that should bring the calf a little more focused and brightened in this moment. Keep your gaze down and then look a little out in front of you. Right hand comes to the right hip. Shift forward, Ardha Chandrasana. Balancing half moon. Spin the right inner thigh back. Wrap the left outer thigh back. And maybe keeping your gaze down to look at that left foot and ankle. Make sure it's working to stabilize. It's a lot of work for that one part of our foundation. And then maybe the last breath, you look up towards that right thumb. And then slowly you're going to sneak back into your triangle pose. Inhale here. Ground the feet, especially that left foot. Inhale, rise up. Good. Pivot the feet back to center, and then step or hop your feet together. We'll come to face back towards the front edge of your mat once again. Take a full exhale all the way down to your feet. Bend the knees. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhale to plant your palms, step or hop the legs back to Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale to Cobra or Upward Facing Dog. Exhale, lift the thighs up and back into Downward Facing Dog. Take a smooth breath in and complete breath out. Inhale, take your right leg up and back. And as you exhale, draw knee to nose and round your spine deeply. And press the floor away so you fill the upper back. And inhale, relift the right leg. Exhale, bring your right shin forward for a pigeon preparation. So coming into a version of your pigeon pose, right outer shin, or right pinky edge of the foot peels back towards outer shin, top of the left foot firmly grounds. Inhale, scoop the chest forward and up. Exhale to fold. If this is a problem for your knee, just come onto your back. Take a figure four pose. The right ankle on top of the left thigh. Hands clasped behind the back of the left thigh. And just tune in once again to the sensation of your body, keeping your chest broad, collarbones open. Last three. Just getting a little more reprieve here for the hips after triangle pose for two. And one. Go ahead and slowly come back up. And then press yourself back into downward facing dog. Good. From your downward facing dog, go ahead and take your left leg up and back. And then exhale, knee to nose, round the spine deeply, and really feel yourself fill the upper back as you press the earth away. Inhale, left leg lifts again. Exhale, bring the left shin forward for your pigeon pose, pigeon preparation. Press down to the hands, lift the chest. And keeping that work of the hips hugging together, the pelvis narrowing, begin to fold forward. And taking a couple more slow, deep breaths. And continuing to maintain a sense of symmetry. So it's not going to feel perfectly balanced from side to side, but you can work towards creating an equal amount of effort and balancing out the sensations. Go ahead, plant your hands back underneath your shoulders. Step back, downward facing dog. From down dog, shift forward, coming onto your shins. You're going to take a moment to either sit onto a block, either on the flat surface here, or maybe a little bit more elevated. And you don't need to sit onto a block if you can get your sitting bones all the way to the ground. Pull the immediate calves back, knees are slightly forward. And then those of you that want to get a little release into your feet, you're going to make fists, and as you keep the chest lifted up tall, you're just going to run your fists down the arches of your feet a few times, just really helping to make those tissues more supple and more receptive to movement. And this can be a regular part of your self-care routine, as it is for me. I love getting into the feet and making sure that foundation of the feet are spreading open enough to support the rest of the body. A couple more times, just finding any of the really tense areas and maybe staying with that for a breath or two longer. Nicely done. And then move your block, and we'll come all the way now onto our bellies. So we've worked a little bit in Sphinx pose already. Now we're going to add on. So from this Sphinx pose, take your left forearm across your body. Keep your pelvis rooted both on the right and the left side. Bend the right knee and reach back as you find the inseam of the right foot. So don't let your knees kind of fall out to the side here. Keep them narrow with one another. Kick back into the shin as you draw your left shoulder back, and then let the heart shine up towards the sun. One last inhale, and exhale, release. Back to all fours, or back to Sphinx pose rather. Hold here in your Sphinx. Right forearm across your body. And then bending your left knee. Reach back. Find the inseam of the left foot. And begin to kick back into that left shin, keeping the knee in line with the hip. Draw the right shoulder and right rib cage back. And then from the center of your chest and your heart, just lift up. Last inhale. Exhale, release with control back into your Sphinx. Inhale, Sphinx pose. And exhale, lower all the way down. Almost kind of pull yourself forward to re-extend the spine. Let your head rest for a moment. Take a full deep breath into your low belly, low back region. And for this next part, you might need a block, you may not, or a blanket might be helpful here. You're going to take your right arm out to the right, and you're going to have your elbow slightly above the shoulder head as you plant the palm down. And then you're going to roll onto your right outer hip as you continue to walk that forearm away from you. So it might feel okay to keep your head lifted here, but if bringing a block might be more supportive, then go ahead and do that. You should feel this in the front of the right shoulder head, but try to add more pressure into the index knuckle and thumb side of the palm, of that grounded right palm, and feel the right shoulder blade nestle down your back. Last inhale, just lean the head slightly back in space. Don't push it though. And then exhale, slowly come back to the center. And we'll venture over to the second side. So again, just look at that left elbow and make sure that it's above your shoulder. So we don't want it kind of sinking below, we want it above. And then bring your right hand in line with your chest. Use your block if you need it. And then roll onto that left outer hip. So the left palm is pretty active here. You're pressing and rooting the palm down so as to feel the connection of the palm and the shoulder blade. To increase the intensity, you can lean your head slightly back in space. Very nice. Taking one more cycle of breath. And slowly coming back to the center. Forearms forward, back into your Sphinx. So now you can stay with the same option that we just took, or you can choose to take it up a notch, moving into Ardha Bakasana. So left arm across the body once again. Pelvis stays firmly grounded, chest is lifting up. And then bend the right knee, reach back. Hand comes to the inseam of the foot. Now I'm still turning my chest forward, but this time to get the foot to come forward towards the outer hip, you're going to spin the palm to face forward, getting the ankle right near the outer hip, and you really have to hug that right elbow in, peel the chest forward and up. And if this is too much, just go back to the first version. Take one more cycle here. And slowly release with control back into your Sphinx pose. Feel balanced here. Feel what it's like to be back in a neutral position. And then take right arm across your body. Bend the left knee. Reach back and find the inseam of the foot. So remember, you can stay right here, kicking back into the shin and lifting upright. Or if you have the space, you'll wrap the hand forward, pinning the left ankle right near the left outer hip. Both hip points stay equally grounded. Right shoulder, right ribs draw back, and then lift up from the center of the chest. One last inhalation. And exhale, slowly release. Forearms back to the ground. Lower all the way down to the floor. And just feel your pelvis kind of sway from side to side. Let there be a little bit of fluidity there. So especially if there's any tension that built for you, just let that dissipate. So we got one round for Dhanurasana. If it's in your practice and you want to move into Dhanurasana, you also have the option to go back into Sphinx or take Shalabhasana once again. So pelvis stays grounded, knees bend, reach back, find the ankles. As you find the ankles, begin to kick back into the shins to lift the chest up, head up. Keep the knees narrow. Breathing here for 3. Last 2, try to press the soles of the feet into the ceiling. Last breath. And slowly release with control. Use your hands like a pillow and just rest your head. Feel the sensations in your body from back bending. Nicely done. And then bring your hands back in line with your chest. Press yourself to all 4s. Grab your block and you'll place it the short edge between your upper inner thighs. You want to firmly squeeze in with the block against with the outer hips. So you're squeezing the block in from the inner thighs and then lift up and back into down dog. So for me, this usually feels really stabilizing for the pelvis after back bending. So squeeze the block in and imagine someone's trying to pull that block out to lift you higher. Last in breath. Exhale, lower down. Good. You're going to take your block that we've been working with and you're going to sit back onto it again for Virasana if you need it. If you don't need the block in Virasana, then just sit down to your sitting bones. Outer ankles hug in, inner thighs spin down. And then just take your right leg forward, setting up for Triang Mukhya Pada Paschimottanasana. As you press the right heel into the floor, draw the root of the thigh bone back into the hip socket, and then lift up from pressing down to the sitting bones as you fold forward. So just let this be a little bit easier. You're not forcing or pushing or starting to unwind at this point. Notice if your mind is sort of pulling you into the future. That might be a little bit of anticipation or anxiety starting to appear. Just see if you can stay with this breath, stay with this moment. One last inhale. And as you exhale, let out a little sigh. As you fold deeper. And then just peel yourself back up. Bend the right knee and bring the sole of the foot in line with the left knee. So the right foot is in line with the left knee, about 1 fist away. And then right fingertips back behind you. Hook your left arm to the outside of the right thigh. So this might be a nice twist for you here. If you want, you can even bring your right thumb to pull the right hip down and in as you turn, and then return the fingertips back to the floor. But press down into your sitting bones to lift the chest and turn from the back ribs. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, release. Take the right leg back into your hero's pose and feel neutral from right to left. Then slide the left foot forward. Ground onto the left heel. Feel that both sitting bones equally grounded as you lift your sternum, lift the front of your spine. Then exhale, hinge forward and fold. So each inhalation gives the body a little permission to elongate, expand, and then each exhale allows you to move deeper in towards sensation or further in towards your edge, towards the unknown. And this practice oftentimes helping us to adopt a mindset that equips us to deal with uncertainty, that equips us to practice equanimity or a sense of self-composure through constant changing circumstances.
Take one more breath here. Just feel your attention anchored in the pose. On your last exhale, just kind of sigh it out. Let go from the belly. And walk yourself back upright. Left knee bends, foot to the floor. Take your left fingertips back behind you and hook your right arm to the outside of that left thigh. Keep pressing down into all the foundation that you have connected to the floor. Use that to scoop the belly back as you lift the spine and turn. So inhales, grow you taller. Exhales help you to rotate. Last cycle of breath. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, release. Take the left leg back into hero's pose. And then remove your block. Release the legs out in front of you. And come to lie down on your backs. As you lie down on your back here, just draw your knees into your chest and give yourself a nice hug. Really thank yourself for making this time a priority, making self-care a priority today. And just briefly, we'll take the right knee on top of the left knee. If this is too much, just take a figure 4. Lift your head and neck, grab the outer edges of your feet or ankles, keeping them flexed, and then release your head and neck back to the floor as you press the outer shins up towards the ceiling and resist that with the arms. Just feel that broadening of the low back here in these last few moments. Good. Release the legs, come into happy baby's pose, just a cycle of breath or 2. Feel the legs prying apart as you press the feet into the hands, resist the arms back down into the mat. And then over to the second side. So the left knee will cross over the right this time. Lift the head and neck. You can either grab the outer ankles or the outer edges of the feet. And then let your head and neck come back to the floor, but keep your low back grounded. So the sacrum is grounded into the mat as you press the outer shins towards the ceiling. So that creates a little bit more of your own tension to use and open the hips. Good, and release. Any last little bits of movement that you need before your Shavasana. But otherwise, just letting everything release out long for your final rest. And take one final deep breath in. Exhale, let it all go completely out the mouth. And just rest with an open awareness. And as you lie here, just notice if there's any mood state present. Notice if there's anything that's filtering, coloring your awareness. Notice your thoughts just
just simply as another appearance on the surface of consciousness. Any subtle shift or change as just another pattern of energy. Now begin to shift your awareness onto your breath. Turning your attention now to wherever the breath feels most noticeable. Perhaps at the belly, the throat, or at the tip of your nose. And just see if you can become really clear from the moment that the inhale arises to the leaving of the breath on the exhale. And as you're watching the breath, notice too if it feels like there's some place in your head from which you're watching the breath. That too is just another appearance in consciousness. Just carefully now begin to deepen your breath and find some movements into hands and feet. If this feels like the right place to stay, if you found a time where you can actually just be, then you're more than welcome to stay for much longer than this. In fact, I recommend you do that if it feels right. But if you do have to get going about your day, just start to make the movements a little bit more pronounced. Eventually drawing your knees in towards your chest and rolling over to your side. And slowly use your hands to guide yourself back up to a seat. And as you pause, just feel the lingering effects of your practice. In other words, notice what has changed and what still remains the same. So we're always in this constant and continuous process of evolution. Bring your hands together at your heart center as you salute and honor the essence of yoga within yourself. And we acknowledge and celebrate that divine light and nature that resides within each of us. Namaste.